Hey, how's that?
That was fancy.
I was grooving to that. Welcome back, everybody. We're here. It's the Monday Not So Live show. It's 5:30 Eastern. My body clock is somewhere else, so I can't promise how conscious or coherent I'll be. I got some food. I got a nap. I got some coffee. I'll try to make it through. How are you guys?
Good. Yeah, no issues here.
Good, Dave. It's all on you. I'm kind of tired, so.
Yeah. No, I'm good. What are we talking about this week? What's going on? What's the word?
Oh, I'm gonna shut this. Hang on.
Well, he's shutting that. It feels like stuff happened last week that actually happened a month ago. You know, people are still talking about HYROX Worlds, and yet now that we've kind of gone through another weekend, it sort of feels like that was a really long time ago.
I know they already had a whole set of races already down in
Yeah.
Sydney, or else, or Melbourne, or all the APAC racers getting on it. You know what I thought I had though this weekend? Actually, did I forget my fucking coffee? I'm going to ask you a question, Dave. Why does HYROX not have any events in America in the summer?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know why they kind of jam up Australia right at the beginning of the year and then forget about them for a while. And then I don't know.
Because we sort of accepted it as sort of how the season goes.
Yeah.
However, when one thinks about it, the same set of trucks that are putting on the events in America are not putting them on in Australia.
No, they are not.
Nor the staff. I'm sure some of the staff make it out to all of them. I'm sure some of the folks, they try to cross train and bring them around, but all those folks in America, right?
They're there.
So why are we not having more events in Europe and America in the summer?
I don't know. Maybe it is a matter of staff. Maybe it's a matter of a lot of staff want to break, take some time off. It's nicer in the summertime. This would technically be Australia's winter right now, so maybe they're. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws. I really have no idea. I would think it'd be better to spread the schedule out more. People would be more inclined to travel more, get more of a break between races. But
take advantage of summer breaks for families and go race a race.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier for teachers and parents with kids to do it right now.
Yeah, and I know that does get to be a burden for them in the spring races. There are empty football stadiums that have air conditioning in the United States and in North America. Right.
So I was just in a country where they have a place to do it. Royal Dublin Society. It is the place to do it. I'm like, don't you people have stadiums? They're like, we have hundreds of stadiums. None of them have a roof.
No? Oh, wow.
Whole little island, right? Few million folks. One place to do it. So that's where all the races are. So yeah, I think early on we accepted it when they were smaller, like, oh, well, I guess now they're over there. But you got the teams, so I don't know. Just like maybe that's coming.
Year-round HYROX.
It does show there's room in the schedule.
Because it's not like they care about like the Elite 15 part, right? Like you can still put the majors starting in the fall, but you need races to get to the majors anyway. But what did you? I mean, obviously, I have a lot to talk about the event I was at. But if you want to talk HYROX first, we can do that. If there's HYROX things left off that you wanted to talk about.
The only thing that I have. Oh, sorry. Got something, Cheryl?
I'm waiting for you.
Okay, the only thing that I got, and I'm not sure about this, is now the change in the athlete license, where it no longer comes with 2 races, and now you're just paying for the license again.
But didn't they lower the price back down for that reason?
I assume so, but it's still like $400, I think.
Yeah, they said they couldn't make it work for all the countries, so they had to just strike it because there was too much legal mumbo jumbo to do the work. Which I don't know how that makes sense, because like it feels like any one like if your company is based in X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way the internet works, like you pay taxes based on where you get income, and they figure all that. I don't know why they couldn't figure it out, but they couldn't figure it out. So we trust they did their best, because clearly this makes it more complicated.
I volunteer for a race. They give me a code. It doesn't seem. Well, I don't know why it has to be much different than that.
I don't know why either. But
by the way, they still owe me a code. They haven't given me anything for Ottawa yet.
And don't expect it to work anyway, Dave. Just so you know. No. I've had a lot of codes that they just have no interest in actually honoring. So,
and in fairness, I think that is a universal race company thing. Seems
absolutely. Yeah. No, I definitely don't feel singled out by that. But I do wonder, when it comes to the elites, isn't there a person over this group of people who have the license who then would be able to just send you a ticket? I don't know why there needs to actually be a transaction. I think whenever you've got money involved, especially for these athletes, as soon as you promise something and then you take it away, that's going to be more frustrating than if you never offered it at all. And so I can see why there's a little bit of noise about that.
I still stand by the fact that this whole athlete license thing is unnecessary and silly, and doesn't do what they said it originally was going to do.
What did they say it was originally going to do?
The original big benefit was everybody that was had the license was going to be put in that first wave.
Well, it works most of the time.
It never works.
Most of them are in the first wave. Once in a while, a few aren't.
I don't know. It seems like a lot slipped through.
It's just the list that they can drug test, right?
Apparently.
You don't think?
And technically, if you've raced, well, previously it was a time base. So are they going to lose that? It used to be if you could do under, I think it was 59 or 58, that guaranteed you first wave. Now, the thing the license also gets you is a guaranteed ticket within 30 days of the race. That I know. That I think they're keeping. So you can't ask for it the day before, but if you give them at least a month to notice, you're in.
You can buy a ticket within 30 days of the race.
Correct.
Yeah.
Meaning even if it's sold out.
Right. Okay.
So $400 to get in the race. Gotcha.
Kat Fossbender and Morgan Schulz have a new podcast. Have you listened?
I thought we were going to talk about some HYROX topics. Are we just jumping off HYROX already?
They're HYROX athletes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just saying that one of the subjects they're talking about this week, I haven't listened to it yet, is about this athlete license thing. I think.
Oh, I was going to give them a proper shout out if you wanted to. Sure. I thought. Sorry, I got confused there.
No, so I do. I just think I think we will hear from them. Just like, look, I mean, what's on our list for today? It's the posts that people did in response to Hunter's posts, in response to their Stockholm races. Charlie Botterill put out a great YouTube video of some things. JK kind of made a very definitive statement about how he felt we should be treating HYROX HQ. And I just think the athletes are doing a really good job of having a platform of their own.
Yeah. And, Hunter mentioned to me in Sweden, he'd like to put something together, and I don't know if he will. I think now is the time if he's going to do it at all. He or they, because the iron's hot, and when fire's cool, it's like, it'll probably be better this season. Let's figure it out. Let's give him a chance. Everybody's famous last words to everybody. Let's give him a chance. So yeah. I do want to talk about my weekend though, and then because there is a ton of HYROX stuff to go over, but I want to see what questions you had about my weekend, and then we can, because that's HYROX, we can go forever basically, and I just want to make sure that we get my weekend out of the way, or my weekend covered.
All right.
What was different about this event from HYROX?
Well, you look at it and you go, oh, well, this is another, like, basically HYROX, right? HYROX in a different order, as we like to say, or faux rocks, or all those things. And, Brian brought me over, picked me up from the airport. I was not coherent yet, and Brian talks very fast and in a very strong accent, and talking a lot about the race, and like most owner-operator race directors do, very passionate. Here's all the things you do right. And, I'm taking it all with a grain of salt. I see the numbers have been good, so I know something's working. But I'm like, me. I'm like, all right, we'll see. And, show up, and we've come to see the level of production value that HYROX put in, and most races kind of aspire to get there, and he kind of like starts there. And I mean, you see these massive boards, right? Like massive boards, and this building, like I said, isn't that big. Massive bridge. I think it's like bigger than HYROX's bridge. And a lot of little things that stood out that make a big difference. And a lot of them I took pictures of because I probably would forget. But like I thought the podium was super cool, right? It's like world championship level. Giant number behind you for 1, 2, 3. And then when you step on the stage, there's your little thing. Awards felt more like an afterthought, and I don't think that for a bad reason, because there's so many categories that they couldn't even have awards the first day. Like I think the first day there was maybe no awards, maybe a relay or maybe a kids, and then starting the second day they started to have some awards at the end of the day. But he preached a lot about, I don't really care about the Elite 15. There's a space for pros, and we have that, but that's not really what I care about. I care about bringing people out. I care about putting on a race for people. I care about it not being intimidating. All that kind of talk that a lot of people speak. And then I watched it happen, and I messaged some of this to Cheryl and you guys over the weekend. I didn't hear people talking about times. Now, on the comments after the sled situation, I did. We'll get to that. But for the most part, it was the sitting around afterwards. They had the little, sauna, cold tub situation, and they had a cool, he themes them all, which I didn't realize until like sort of the middle of it. This was the summer barbecue. So there's a fucking saxophone player playing and barbecue and food trucks. And like for the Halloween one, they've got like Halloween themed stuff and like little touches like that I think are really cool. But when people are sitting around talking, it wasn't, how was your time? Did you beat last time? How was it? It was great. It was hard. That was my first. I did it with my neighbor. I did it with my whatever. Like, this wasn't him telling me that. This was me watching it. And this is even the people that like I raced with. When people came up to us afterwards, how'd you do? And we would talk to them. But then I just heard it. And literally saying the things that he would hope them to say, like sitting in a sauna, sweating my face off, not paying attention, and hearing two women go, man, I enjoyed that so much more than HYROX because XYZ. So it's almost like we used to say Warrior Dash was the entry point, but Warrior Dash was always like a goof. I think the word I used when I made my video was accessible, and accessible doesn't mean easy. And I think that's a big distinction that people, I think, are missing.
So what was the XYZ that people were saying they liked it better than HYROX?
Well, again, if you, I always say it's, I'm a big believer in it's what you make of it, right? If you show up and say, well, nobody talked to me and it was clicky and it was whatever, it's like, well, you didn't really try. But I'm saying that there's a difference in people gunning for times and a lot of shirts off and people going to exercise and have a good time and not with their shirts off. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't experience a lot of that intensity. And I told you, Cheryl, there was one person that I asked and their answer was about a time. There was one person I said, how did it go? And they said, I was 2 minutes slower and I'm really mad about it. Mm. That was one out of who knows how many people I went up to and talked to over the weekend.
It sure looked like a DECA event as far as just kind of the vibe that people were giving, where they were just having a good time. They were working hard, but it didn't feel so, it wasn't taking itself as seriously, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, and that's the thing that's like, again, you can say that all you want and everyone wants to be, most people want to be something for everybody. Like, just like OCR, it's the hardest day of your life, but bring the kids. I always say that. But again, accessible doesn't mean easy. It's really, you still have to do, even in doubles, that's a lot of, it's a lot of burpee broad jumps. It's a lot of lunges. It's a lot of thrusters. Like that's work you have to do regardless. right?
Are you running together when you
Always,
do
yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah, of
so
course.
it's not tag team like deck. It's
No, no,
it's
no.
more a HYROX.
Relay is relay. I think I didn't do a relay, but I'm sure I think relay's like that. But no, the doubles is just like doubles. And I gotta say, I did even the full distance is 800-meter runs, not 1,000. And then there's 800-meter and 800-meter pro. So the pro, the weights are heavier, but 800-meter is the open weights. But then they have a 500. And I did the 500 doubles the next day, and that was the shit. And I was like, I would do this every weekend. If HYROX had this, I would always do a full and then the next day do a 500. Reminded me of OCR, where you race elite in the morning and then do the fun one in the afternoon.
Mhm.
And again, perfect for beginners. Do you know how awesome it is? And I know I don't do a lot of DECA fits because I know DECA's like this, but like, how awesome it is to like run that first lap and be like, awesome, I'm going in the next time.
Mhm.
Instead of me and my partner, I like to make sure we count. I always like to say, we're both going to say one. We're both going to say two. He would say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And that's what we 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And it was just to go 1, 1, 1. And then that's it. And then you go in. So I love the 500. I've been saying since day one, HYROX should have that. What a difference maker for people. What a, again, way to make it much more accessible. Right. I finished in under an hour. I've never done anything under an hour. I didn't have to pack calories. You know what I mean? I did in 53 minutes. I had a great time.
Just a good hard effort. And there are tiers for judging.
Okay, so let's talk about that. And I did an interview with the guy's name is Chris, who's the tech behind those machines. He's the tall fella that was pulling the sled over hand because he thinks that's the way he should do it. He's like, why are we making it a walking exercise? It's a different exercise. He's a CrossFit guy. What do you want? We had a great conversation. Really smart guy, OG CrossFitter, but like clearly knows like a lot of the shit they're doing wrong. We had a great conversation for the podcast about that. But, I told him, I said, hey, I posted your video because I thought the men doing proper reps. And sure enough, Dave and 5 other people were like, shitty extension. And I told him, I'm like, hey man, like that wasn't even me like wasn't like I was trying to get good or bad reps. I just did a row of people and that's what came through. And so you'll hear it in the interview, but basically he's like, we can make it as easy or as hard as you want it. And for the open and the kids or whatever, it's kind of wide open, right? And then you tighten it more. And for the extension, he could basically what he said without saying was that's where he was told to put it, basically. Like, I think it could be even tighter. There are ways to fool the machine. And again, this is what level do you want? Because if you do this, you have to describe what I do after I do it. If you just do this with the thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're not moving the RAM.
No.
You could bounce the RAM off your knee essentially and get a rep on the open waves like that, which like we saw somebody do.
Yeah.
And it was like either because they were injured or they're trying to trick the system or whatever. But so they could definitely clean that up. But here's the real interesting part is if someone's starting to kind of, people kind of start to cave and they sort of bend over, right? And again, so it's going to go green for the down, right? And so then you've got to correct, if you're going to judge, like, let's do it the other way for the top, right? When someone's doing burpees or thrusters, right? Deadly dozen DECA, and you go a little higher, and you kind of coach them up, and they kind of usually get there pretty quickly. Then maybe the form drops a little bit again, and you tell them a little higher, right? And maybe rep them once if you have to. But the point is, if it's going green, and you're saying go higher, it's right. You're kind of one or the other, right? What am I going to do telling you to go higher for? It's already green. Because that's what I would have told the guy if I was allowed to. The guy who was like not getting it all the way up. Because that's also when sometimes people just need the reminder because they're fatigued. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's something there in the pro waves that they're going to need to solve.
Yeah, like if it goes green, you're good.
Right.
Why would I extend if it's going green.
And the true way to do it, he was saying, would actually be to do it from the side.
Yeah.
So
right?
what is it watching? Is it watching the RAM? What is it? What is that machine
if
watching?
you see it, if you watch it, it kind of does this thing with your body. It kind of like mimics like bones, I guess.
Oh.
But the difference is I certainly went as shallow as I fucking could on day 2 because I was hurting. I did not push myself at all to go deep. So I was certainly, but again, let's say that's an overweight new person. They're still doing more. They're doing something. They're not squatting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It just becomes a matter of
that's when I made that whole video of like, what the fuck are we doing making people go ass to grass? You still have to move down in a way that's squatting.
So the question becomes, and this is what, and I know, Matt, this is the thing that I'm going to say the word struggle with, but I know that's not really the right word. But a concept that it doesn't work for you. Is open wave competitive? So is it a competitive division? So if it's, and this is my take on it, if it is not a competitive division, a la Spartan Open, then I don't care.
Right.
But if it is a competitive division where there's podiums and there's this and there's that, that's when I care. And if they lower the standard, that's fine, as long as they've proclaimed the standard for the Open is this, so that everybody can follow the same standard, right? So that's where the question becomes for me.
Well, if you're going for a flag, right, and you're saying, so the depth standard on the machine is different for the Open versus the Pro,
and that's cool. That's fine.
That's the whole point we're making.
Yes.
So
I understand that. Yeah.
So like if I did the squat that I did, even the first day, I might not have gotten pro credit. I might have had to go even deeper. And I was going pretty good, I think. Right. My mobility is not fantastic, but I think I'm able to get pretty good. But then to me, there's another level of like, if someone can't do it at all, you just fucking move them along. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to like if that 72-year-old woman that I showed couldn't get depth, I'm going to keep her there for 20 minutes to do it right because everybody should do the right form. No. Do you see what I'm saying? Because she's not winning a flag anyway.
No, I know. But
and if she is, it's because she's the only one in the category.
I know. But what it becomes then, and this is again where I differ on it, is I'm all for the changing of the
You're
standard.
saying true Open, all bets are off, and then like an age group where they give away flags. Are you saying so 3 divisions is what you're
pretty much like if you want a division where anything goes, move on, make it, and that's great. That's awesome. I'm all for it. But if soon as you put competition, whatever the standards may be, you can have it be a higher standard for the squat. That's cool, as long as everybody gets the same thing.
But again, I think we're in mostly agreement. I think that like the true Open, no standards at all.
Run your own race
doesn't really exist. But there's the unspoken, like, we're just going to move you along. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to press the button to say rep because we're going to teach you a lesson.
That's one of the beautiful things about the LT games is you got a certain time limit and then you're moved along.
Because it's a competition.
Yeah, and I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine with that too. Like if you said whatever the thrusters are and it's a 10-minute time limit for there and then you're bumped on and you're maxed out, I'm cool with that too. So
the reason I think it really works is because it cleans up most of the garbage, right? Like it's not 100% obviously, but because it cleans up most of the garbage, it's worth giving flags for. And if someone's being a shitty cheater because they've tried to fuck the system and like do the half reps, great, you're a fucking cheater, and those people are always going to do that somewhere, right? Just like in DECA, right? Like we can't, like we've seen it, right? And until it's gotten a lot better, but in the early days it was like all over, right? Yep. So I guess how I would do it is, and again, this is like what the sport needs to figure out, because I think if more companies do want to use this tech, and because guess what else it saves on, Dave?
Oh yeah,
we went from 40 judges to 4.
And
pretty
I think
awesome.
that's absolutely spectacular.
Pretty awesome.
I'm all for the idea.
Right. So I think, and I'm kind of realizing this thinking aloud, for the pros, there is like a no rep option. Basically, how like the lady can hit the thing on the wall ball is that in the thing we tell them, listen, the machines are pretty good. If we think you're shorting thrusters, I'm gonna no rep you if you don't go high enough. And then it's said, right? And then they're gonna argue with the ref and all that. But like that starts to go out in the literature. That gets said at the start line. Like if we need to correct you, we will, and we can override the machine. And I think I should have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation with him about that. Because again, here's the thing. He kind of doesn't care about those people. Like, really doesn't. Like people say like, oh, well, he will or whatever. Like I don't think he'll ever give prize money. He's just like not interested at all.
Yeah.
And I think we've all said people don't need to put too much effort into it. Like, hey, give away some, get some of the pros there, and that kind of can lead the horse or whatever. In this case, he's already built it for the regular people. He kind of like is like, great, you guys want to go and race pro, great, but I'm way more concerned with everyone else. So that's, I think, the problem with that is that like someone like you for that company should be in charge of that division, and then they work with the screens guy to figure out what that is. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there's no world champs. You're cheating to get a fucking flag and put it in your fucking bio. Great, you're an amazing human.
We know what a seduction that is for people, though.
Right, but that's what my point is. Like those people are all gonna. What do you think, Cheryl? You've been quiet a little bit as Dave and I have discussed this point.
Sounds like, first of all, that this guy's just throwing a fitness party. He's not really interested in sort of having this pro track where, you know, we highlight certain athletes and so forth, right? I mean, he's not paying people money. It's just really is about building a community. And this time it was a barbecue, and one time it was a Halloween party. And I think that's like, to know your lane is key. And I think that's probably why he's been so successful. When it comes to the judging standards, if I am competing, I want standards, period. End of story. Let them have an open wave where there is no competition, where they are so excited to finish. They're happy, but do not put them in my wave. I don't want any garbage reps. I want reps that if I keep a standard, I want everybody else who I'm competing with to keep the same standard.
But that's what I'm saying is I think the machines like do get rid of garbage reps. And yeah, you'll have people that there's always going to be the people that find the line and whatever. Like during our
no lines. So.
What's that?
I don't want someone to find the line. I want somebody.
But if you're doing burpees, at HYROX or wall balls at HYROX, and someone next to you is not holding the standard, what do you do about it?
I complain about it on the podcast. I have in the past. I think it is.
But I'm saying
injustice, and it bothers me to. I lost a first place flag for that once. Very annoying.
I have literally gone to the head judge. Yo.
I have to stop myself from doing that. I've definitely, especially when I'm hurting and the person next to me is not squatting, right? And it used to be worse. Now it seems to be a lot better. But I try to get to a place where I truly like, that's not my business. I'm going to do the best reps I can. Or maybe I try to cheat myself. Like that's another way you can go. It's like, fuck it. If they're not doing it, I'm going to do it. There was definitely some feet shuffling in those burpees. Again, not as many judges, right? Certainly some feet shuffling. I don't have a massive problem with it. I just don't.
Right. Because you're not competing for a flag.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when I was first place for a second, I was thrilled. And if I lost a flag to somebody that shuffled their feet, I guess I would have been okay with it. But I think
you don't know.
But I think that's the difference, right? Is that you, Cheryl, and many people that listen to this show are competitive as fuck. And you are the tiny percentage of people, though. That's the problem.
Right. So put us in a wave where we can just all wring our hands and stay up at night, right? Like we're miserable.
But I don't want it to get twisted that Matt's saying everyone gets a trophy. We don't care at all. That's not what I'm saying.
Matt says rules suck.
I'm saying there's like anytime we do age group awards, we have standards and there's some unspoken rule that I'm not going to make overweight people to live the same standard because they're not taking a flag anyway, or the old ladies.
Yes. And look,
that's what I'm talking about.
And let me just say this too. I have been in a doubles race where I have been doing my lunges and my partner hollers at a judge on the floor and says, they're not doing them right. And I was mortified. Like that is not okay, right? It's not okay.
So,
yeah.
So listen, I commented and I rarely do I engage. If you notice, look at this.
Oh, geez. That's a metaphor for your whole day.
Exactly. Rarely it says charge your phone, like it literally has 0 battery. I had a guy say, that's wrong. You're never going to get better or something like that. And I said in the comments, again, I usually don't do this. I let the post speak for themselves, let the community do the commenting. And I said, is it possible this person has different goals than you? Their goal isn't to be the fittest version of themselves. Their goal was to finish the race.
Right. So put them in the open wave, the open non-competitive wave.
Okay. But again, we don't have any of those. That would be too many waves. Like then you've got pro open or pro age group. Oh, you know what I'm saying? They're not.
I've always thought that was a simple thing. Just put a wristband on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, we used to say that about wall.
At least at the same time.
Remember I said that about wall balls? I said if you're an hour 30 plus, we just don't. I just think there's if someone's not in contention, there's an unspoken rule of we encourage, we cheer, we get them to the finish line. That's all I'm saying.
So a wristband would let the judge know that they were not.
But why do you need a wristband? It's pretty fucking obvious. They are not as fit as the other people.
It's not always obvious.
I don't think it's always obvious. And look, like
if you're David, what's your name? I've never called you David before. David, if you're judging wall ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone comes in. Let's use a famous HYROX, a famous CrossFit term, capacity. It's pretty quick who's got capacity and who's not, right?
I mean, right off the bat, you'll see the first few reps how they go. Yeah.
Right. So once we've determined that, and you have a judge with emotional intelligence, you get to decide, right? Do I push this guy, or it's like, do I let this slide because that's what I'm kind of saying. And,
no, I totally understand.
And again, if you're somebody that believes, fuck that, that's not what you do. It's about great. That's great. I'm just saying, I think I lean more towards, again, seeing happy, sweaty people doing something they thought that maybe they couldn't, doing something for the first time in their life. They've never been picked last in gym class, whatever it is, right? Or just regular folks that didn't think they were athletes. They were just like, I've never been an athlete. Now I go to the gym and I do this thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Capacity. Yep. You got the capacity, you get judged. You don't have the capacity, we let you slide.
And I love that, but I am with Cheryl where those people.
You want them in their own wave. You want them.
I don't care if they go out with everybody else.
On the short bus and in their own wave. I get it.
No, they can be in our wave.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I need the person who I'm competing against needs to be held to the same standard as me. And when I am on the rig over on the right side of the hall, and she is on the rig over on the left side, there's nothing I can do about the fact that she's squatting like, I don't know, a 96-year-old woman, right? And they're doing nothing about it. And I'm watching her pass me while I'm doing, like, they need to hold us both to the same standard. And
I have an example for you. Faye Stenning.
I said she should have been allowed to finish, so they had to bring her the bucket. I go, why did she get an award? She couldn't even do the movement.
She comes in, and under that scenario, right? Obviously, she's first place. She's flying because she's Faye, but then instantly shows a capacity and an inability to do wall balls. By the standard you're saying, a judge who is not quite educated enough
doesn't know who she is.
I don't know who she is. I don't know where she's positioned. Clearly, she can't do it. I'll give her a few no reps and then I'll send her up.
Now we're in the definition of pornography. I know it when I see it. Faye has fitness capability. She has fitness capacity.
You know it when you see it, but not all the judges do.
And that's why Dave's idea for wristband.
Okay. Can I bring up a picture of Faye Stenning and then bring a picture up of someone not Faye Stenning, and you tell me you couldn't tell the difference?
A woman who I know well in Las Vegas who signed up for the relay with 3 of her friends. I offered to give them coaching. They had it. They were like, we've got this. They didn't talk to me. They just went and they did it. And I stood there and filmed her 13-minute wall balls, right? Because she looks as fit as anyone. She looks great rolling into the wall ball place, right? Like you can't tell just because of who they are. So
anyway,
what are you saying?
We agree with your idea. We like your idea. I just want it so that it's a cue for the judges to know.
I think you and people listening may leave the show thinking Matt doesn't want any standards.
Nope, that's not what I think. I don't believe that at all.
No,
I believe that you want standards for competitive people, and you want people who just want to finish the race to be able to finish the race. And David, I agree with you.
Yep.
And again, like there comes a point where you can just, again, you have to educate your judges better, right? You got to get maybe certain stations, you got to get real. Like, again, this is something that Chris and I talked about a lot, that someone has horrible mobility. Okay. Mappy Davis, when he first started, right? People show up with no coaching, don't even know that their knees cave, right? Literally can't do the movement, right? So when that guy comes in, and he's trying to do the squat, right? And he's got to do, for this thing, he's got to do 60. Mm-hmm. And after 10, like his bad form is already, like, he's worse than he started. He's going to be there a long time. Why do I need a special wave for him? Why can't I just realize
you don't need a special wave?
Okay, then what are you saying?
You need a designated indicator. Have them wear a wristband, like Dave's saying.
Why do you need the indicator when I'm looking at him?
So that
I wouldn't know in the start line, because he wouldn't know that he has horrible form. He might have been coached wrong or never corrected, or he shows up to F45 that I did and no one ever corrects his form.
Should he get the same reward that someone who did it properly does?
What reward is that?
The reward of finishing, the time, the
20 minutes later than everyone else, or whatever it is.
But he might not be, because somebody might take 13 minutes on those wall balls or on those thrusters, but do everyone to standard. You understand what I'm saying? Someone might take longer than him, but have done it all to standard. So that person should get a better.
So they should get 76th place instead of 77th place as a reward.
Exactly.
I said it sarcastically, but you're saying yes.
100%.
And what I'm saying is that there are people who get third and second and that sort of thing.
I think if you asked me this 10 years ago, Dave, I think I would be 100% agreeing with you. And I'm saying the older I get, the less I give a shit. And the more I'm like, why are we wasting time on this? Life is too short.
It's still,
remember how upset I got at the end of the season when people weren't getting into Worlds, and I was like, fucking get over it. Right. And that's kind of where I'm at with this stuff. You know what I mean? And I know it's really important. And I know, Cheryl, you are one of those people. And I care about you deeply.
So much time and so much money. And I try so hard. And to have somebody compete with me without doing the same standard, it's like me running a 5K and them running a 3K. Don't do the marathon thing on me. Sorry.
Don't do that one.
No, it's just, I want those of us who are competing to be held to a certain standard. And I want those of us who are not competing to be able to finish the race and have a good time, right? I want all that. And so the easy solution is to just make sure that it's clear to the judges who they're dealing with so that they can judge them appropriately.
The amount of Spartan sprint finishers who don't do all their burpees, right? Mm-hmm. If I worried about putting myself in front of all those people back when I did my burpees, back when I gave a shit, right? I would lose sleep, right? Like, I was never going to win, but I was going to be 50th instead of 35th. And you're saying, Matt, you deserve 35th because you did your burpees. You're right. But guess what? People cheat. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. It's kind of
that's exactly why I feel a true open division is appropriate. Because then those people, if you're in that one, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm out here, I'm doing my thing. I know those people might have cheated. They might not have done the burpees, whatever. I don't care because I'm doing my thing. I just want to finish the race. And then when you're in the competitive, then people should be held to the standard. yeah,
I think I live in a world where if I could be the judge of everyone, then it would work out fine. But since we have people, we need these categories because I feel like it's like I said, it's an emotional intelligence thing. Like this person's doing their best. And again, like I saw a woman like there's no way she was going to do lunges, right? There's no way. Like she got her knee kind of halfway ish down, right? And if you coach that person up and you say get a little deeper and they try it a couple of times and it's like again, they might hurt themselves, they might be here all day. I'd much rather get that person through and have her finish, 75th instead of last. That's just how I feel. And I'm okay with that.
Yep.
You're a man of the people, Matt.
I just, like I said, the older I get, and the less I like people who tell me about how fucking well they do. I just think that's the thing, right?
Well, I am struck.
You ever meet someone and like that's what they tell you, like, or like you put your HYROX time in your bio. I'm probably not someone I want to hang out with.
I will say the finish time photos are so triggering for me. It's just hard to sort of have us all define ourselves by our finish times. It's really, really tough. Dude, and I will say that's why this event sounds terrific. Listen, it sounds like a ton of fun. And
so
that's
what we're clear. So we're clear. It's not that I am a human being. When people ask me what I did and I would tell them, and then sometimes like it did come up, but it wasn't like the topic. And yeah, sometimes I would be like, oh, that person did better than me. They don't look more fit than me, whatever. Like, of course that. And for a hot second, I was first. I was thrilled. I knew it wouldn't last. And then we were fourth. I wonder what we are now, like by the end of it, right? Because there was a whole other race another day. But at the end of at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, every day above ground's a good day, and like let's move on from it. That's just kind of where I'm at with most of it.
I'm still playing a game. And I hope
Cheryl, I want to get to
play that game forever.
Cheryl, I want to get to Worlds with you. I am a competitive human being as well. I just feel like there's I saw a lot of celebrating fitness, as Yancey would say, and it was a really great weekend. That's kind of
that's awesome.
Lost the plot is what we were talking about.
I absolutely agree that we've lost the plot. I think we are just such a tightly wound bunch, and we all need to kind of calm down and enjoy ourselves and remember why we're doing this. And Matt, you're in the perfect position because you're going to be thrilled if we qualify, right? But you're also going to be just happy to be here. And that's exactly where I think we all need to be. It's just, sometimes for those of us who are kind of more on the championship track, it makes it tougher. And we are a lot more uptight and miserable than you are.
I'm not miserable. I'm delighted.
Look, I love this process. And I think Dave, I mean, you understand, I think, where I'm coming from. I just want an even playing field, right? Like that's all I want is an even playing field.
I guess the other answer is to not give out age group awards at all, is have a pro category and then everyone else. Yeah. Because I think to me, that's the difference in sport and activity, right? Like, and HYROX has designed this thing called the Elite 15, right? And that's the sport, and we talk about it as the sport, and those people pay a different fee and clearly play by different rules, even though that's a whole other ball of wax, right? And that's what I'm saying is sport versus activity, and you get your feathers ruffled over a flag or not a flag, cool, get over it. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't get ruffled about it. My thing is, all I want to know is when you beat me, that you beat me.
I know, but it's never that way. It's never that way though. You never know.
But that it just because it's hard to accomplish doesn't mean you just give up. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying give up. I'm saying that you're having a sport on a weekend with 10,000 people, right? You're not going to have perfect judges, and people are going to slide through, and you do a really good job, with humans and machines to clean up garbage, and everyone else is everyone else. And if everyone else happens to win a flag and beat you that day, oh well, it wasn't your day. Fucking go race again.
Yeah. Still means they can have an open race.
I guess. All right, let's move on. Because there are things about the race I wanted to talk about.
I have one question about the race, though. One question.
Yes.
If the machines work better when you're sideways, why aren't they sideways?
I don't know. I forgot. We started talking about that, and I forget why. I think because you have to count, because then you can see how you're doing. If you're facing it, you can see how you're doing it.
Maybe like a 45 then or something. Because I definitely can see, like, I know for me judging, I like to be on a 45 for me visually.
Also, most obvious thing to me, I don't know how we're missing this. You start, the thing starts at 60 and counts down. Why don't we count wall balls down?
Oh, that would be really nice. Yeah.
It's so much better for your brain.
I like that.
I saw somebody do a video on that once. Where they said they always count down, whether it's 10s or 20s or whatever, because it's better for your brain. When your brain counts up to 100, it doesn't register. And yeah, it was like, oh, fuck, 20 more to go, 18 more to go.
Yeah.
Definitely the way to go. Count down, not up. I love that.
I don't care if you go up or down, just don't switch midway.
Well, of course not.
No, people do that. People, you see it all the time. They get down to the last 10 and they start going 10, 9, 8, 7. So you count all the way up to 90 and then start counting down from 10.
Okay, here. So the category that they had day one was a thing called the clan, right? Clan is 4, right? All doing it together, okay? And it was mostly
everybody
families.
running.
Yeah, and it was mostly families.
Cute.
Right? Everybody should have this. Everybody should. Like HYROX has young stars, but having like families out there was the coolest thing I ever saw. Like, I think there were no weight at all on the sleds, but you still saw some kids pull it. You saw some kids where the mom would pull it with the kid, right? So to me, that seems like throw that in there. Families, not just youth. They also had a youth event on the final day.
One critique could go without the name, doesn't work well in North America.
Correct. Well, I'm going to show you guys a picture that I saw. I'm going to show you guys a picture that I saw that's even more questionable. Oh, their big start wave. Okay. Big start wave. There's a clock in front of it that you can see it from inside the tunnel or outside the tunnel. It's a 10-minute clock and it counts down. And when it gets to about 3 minutes, the person would get in there kind of like Danielle does, right? And gives you a little bit of a speech. And then guess what? It starts again. It just runs all weekend. It's never late. No one was ever late. It ran perfectly. Again, seemed like such a no-brainer. Like literally just, and if there's no waves that go, it didn't matter. It's just a 10-minute clock. Yep. Amazing. Genius. Don't know why people haven't done that before.
That's I mean, HYROX Worlds, I think that's how they run HYROX in Europe and, elsewhere, just not we have Danielle, right? But they just have a clock that's just running in the start tunnel.
Do they?
I think they do.
I see it start down. I see it count down from 3.
No, I mean we were at least 10 minutes. They had a 10-minute clock for in Stockholm. So
they'll start putting you in the crowd 10 minutes before.
Right, and there's a clock in there just running. You can see it.
All right. Yeah. Well, this one everyone could see on both sides, so it was
that would be very nice. And Decca absolutely needs to quit asking that poor announcer to send people out and just do a clock.
It reminded me of early days of HYROX because A, everyone was nice to me, and B, I could be on the floor, and that was really nice. I could walk around. It was very easy. I could cross the little path because I was wearing a little badge. Is that so much to ask for? Right? Made friends.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Made friends with, but see, listen, you say it'll change. I like, again, is anybody going to be as big as HYROX? Probably not. But I'm pretty sure as this guy grows, he'll keep me pretty close. I think he's that kind of a guy.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I think this thing, it just feels so much more relaxed. It feels so much more fun. They're not taking themselves so seriously. It sounds like a much better time.
They had part of the summer theme was the cold plunge in the sauna, but they had a shower thing set up that anyone could use, and that was free. And you paid by the way, there was a sauna near me. It was like $20. and like the ones near me are like $100. So I love that. One thing I did not like, if you saw the stickers that I put down, they have passing on the right. Now, I'm used to passing on the left for HYROX and like on the trail and on the airport escalator. Like to me, like on the left is how you pass. Here, first of all, they didn't have the stickers down the first 2 nights. They fucked up. So that was the first problem. The second problem was they told some people, but not always, and some people are just used to HYROX. So I got yelled at for both. I got yelled at for being in the wrong place for both. Then I got yelled at for yelling on your left to somebody who was coming by, like, go to the right. Like, so that was an issue. On the final day, they got those stickers down. So the stickers are great, right? Like the fast lane
What
stickers.
side of the road do they run or do they drive on?
They drive on the opposite side.
So right.
But if you're on the tube or whatever, you still on the escalator, you still pass on the left.
Okay.
It's not about the driving.
Well, and I think with this, it's you want the fast runners want the inside track. They don't want to have to go. Yeah.
Of course. Oh, so the thing that I showed in the video was a merging onto traffic instead of cool. hard left into traffic. Now, for part of the race, depending on where you came out, you did have to kind of do one of those to get to that part, which then goes onto the course, but it's still not flying by racers. You're still inside the rock zone. You see what I'm saying? But you went further down because you're doing the 6th or 7th station. So you still had a part of it, but I really like that. That was great.
Yeah. That's a good thought.
But again, mark my words, one day when the HYROX numbers drops and they need people to come back, they will give us a 500-meter version. It just won't be for a while, but it's definitely what the sport needs.
Do you think that a part of the allure of HYROX is the challenge, and that if they do a 500-meter one, that it won't have that same challenge?
Well, they think that now, but like I said, the easy.
So I'm saying I'm
saying that Tough Mudder was a 10-mile, probably the toughest day of your life. And if you ask them, would they ever do a short one? They'd say, why would we ever do that? This is our brand. And then 5 or 6 years in, they were like, holy shit, people stopped coming. Let's give them a 5K version. Guess what? People do the 5K version. So it will happen. And other races will offer it. And maybe HYROX is always the pinnacle and the one you go for. And that's the hard one. And maybe they never do it. And there's a bunch of 500 versions. But I just think that's...
Apparently XENOM's going to be that. So, sorry.
Did I mention that XENOM got less than 500 people in their first race?
Yeah. I think we talked about it.
We talked about the numbers. We haven't really talked about the fallout just from the event. I think that people who were there clearly loved it. How would you not love an event that's for 2,000 people that only has to cater to less than 400? But I don't understand. Are you done talking about TRYKA? We want to make sure and finish with that.
I'm good.
I don't understand why XENOM started so big. Why not do like TRYKA did and other events did?
Because
and
everybody, because listen, guys. I would compare it to the guy from Hybrid Games, right? Our friend Dale from Hybrid Games. Day one, I'm going to be HYROX tomorrow because, well, they did it and I'm smart and I've made money doing something else. So I'm going to do this and look at me. And he actually did have some early success. He did some good marketing. He was at a great time when HYROX was selling out big time. And so there weren't tickets to get. And he got 3,000 people to second race, right? He's had less people since because it's not as good of a product as HYROX. It owes a lot of people money. Word's getting out, blah, blah, blah. It's really hard to do that. XENOM, well, we're geniuses. We've got all this money. We clearly know what we're doing. We're the CrossFit answers to HYROX. We're going to get 2,000 people. We're going to charge you $400. We're going to give you a 2-day event. So there were 372 finishers. We know for a fact they gave away 250. Now, I don't think 250 to 372 were the 3 people. I think at least 100 of them were, because all those invited athletes That's 20 right there, right?
Yeah.
So they did not sell a lot of tickets. So we already saw they lowered the ticket price and adjusted some of the movements, but they're in, as I said in my video, big trouble if they don't figure something else out. They may have to rechange, like they may have to change the whole thing, because if you don't break 500 in the UK, that first event cost $1 million. If it cost a dime, guys, there's no way it didn't.
It looked. The presentation was stellar.
And they asked people to comment who was there who loved it. I'm sure they did. I'm sure it was amazing. I'm sure the judging was great. I'm sure they got great swag. But guys, it's like it doesn't mean it has a future. You've got to be profitable.
How many? They have London coming, and then do they have other events coming as well?
You
right?
tell me.
Well, they had a list.
Is this where we get verbs? Is this where we get action verbs?
I thought they had lots of verbs a few months ago, right? Like they were very, very optimistic and were painting a really great picture. And yet, what was the post this week? Choosing the hard way, right?
That's what inspired my video. I woke up, I saw choosing the hard way, and I was like, what are you guys doing? Like they're doubling down on the thing we talk about every week, which is we're hard, we're cool, we're a cult. Fuck you if you're not us. Great. You sold 300 tickets. Congratulations.
But there are races out there that are happy to be too hard, right? They're happy to not be for everybody, but they're also nice and small. And so it works, right?
Of course.
I mean, Matt, you're just begging LT Games to do a teams option, and they're never going to do it. They love how hard that race is.
Cheryl, I would do a teams with you tomorrow.
Oh, and I would be right there. I am terrified that I'm signing up for the next LT Games again, because I remember how much it stung. It's hard.
But here's the thing. LT Games definitely has their lane, right?
Yes.
They're going to get you and Dave and Janelle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And right. And Jack Driscoll, like the people who like want that different kind of challenge, different set of muscle groups.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're only selling 300 tickets and they're fine with it.
Exactly. And I think that's the move. You can't have simultaneously an event that's not for everybody and a mass participation event. You need to cap it at 250, 300, do it once every 6 months, make it kind of special, make it really, really nice. And I think LT's going to sell out as soon as quickly as it did last time.
I do have an answer for XENOM, by the way. I know how they can be successful.
How?
Go back in time to when CrossFit was incredibly popular in 2015, because that was the whole thing. What I've heard over and over again from OG CrossFitters is when the games, overnight went from the thing on Dave's farm to on ESPN, it was, we're going to train our people to get to the games. Like that was the whole thing. It's like, so that was the platform. And that was this like cool, possible, doable thing, especially when they had the regionals and the way to get there. But then they conflated competition with methodology, and it became too hard of lifts, handstand walks, et cetera, right? Story you've told 100 times. So the idea of CrossFit having a repeatable competition that a lot of people go to would have worked at one point. It is not going to work in 2026. And you can be very upset with me. And there was a response by an employee of that company, and it's already gone. And if you saw it, you saw it, and they weren't happy with it. And I'm happy to speak to them directly about it. If they would have reached out to me, I would have happily talked about it, because this is not a, what's the word? That's what I'm looking for. I'm giving you my opinion, but I'm giving you my opinion based on what I'm seeing with my two eyes and a long history of what makes successful events. There once was a company called Battle Frog. Battle Frog had all the money in the world, right? They're super successful. Their guy launched a pizza company in France, right? They made way harder obstacles than Spartan. Way harder. And a really small diehard people love them. They love them so much they would stand at a rig for 2 hours just to finish the race, right? They did not sell near as many tickets as Spartan. They grew too fast. They went out of business pretty quickly when the guy who has the money goes, wait a minute, this isn't making any money. So like we like to use Battle for All kind of as a joke, but I do think it's kind of a good example at this point. Wouldn't you say, Dave? Like similarly?
It is. I think there is a similarity to it. It's basically, it's not accessible enough and it's too expensive. And those are the two major problems. Will they overcome them? Who knows? But I don't think the crowds will change unless they change.
I mean, okay. There's a couple ways. One, make it, but again, I think people are drunk on HYROX. So it's like, how can I have some of that? Because, you know, they just thought I just had, they could go the DECA route, do it at your gym, qualify, have a championship.
They already have that. It's called the CrossFit Open.
Right. But they could have this version, which is the same 10 events every year, right? Yeah. Or at least it's the same 10 events. It's still different than the Open because the Open is, they're always different. It's 6
I know what you mean, but they already have their own.
But XENOM could be a corporate version of that. We're not the CrossFit Open. We're a different thing. We have different prizes. We have different regionals. We're a different ecosystem, right? Would they have enough people to make that work? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's a way to do it. Or way less expensive, 1-day event, and different and less hard. Not less hard. What's the word I'm looking for? Less complex stuff.
Yeah. So my problem initially, and said it again, was I'm right off the hop, and you just said Cheryl and I were the type that go to the LT games and want that challenge, want this, want that, want it to be hard. We don't want it to be easy. But immediately at seeing when XENOM first said, I saw the thing, I'm like, oh, cool, this might have legs. And then I saw the first zone, I'm like, I'm out. And I'm a guy who is relatively strong, relatively fit.
You are a capable human. Yes.
Likes a challenge. And I'm like, first one, I'm out. Because risk reward, not worth it. Skill level of things where I'm going to have to spend so much time to learn, not worth it. I want to put my time into being fit.
You skipped a couple of things though, Dave. You did skip very important things.
What's that?
You're like very strong, right?
Yeah.
What was the second one?
I'm fairly fit.
Fairly fit. Very bald.
Very.
Very angry.
Not angry.
Very Canadian.
Yeah. Sorry.
So anyway, their UK event is coming up. Yeah. I think they might have more than 500 people.
I think,
but if they don't,
I think they have between 500 and 800.
Is that what you've heard? 800 would be a massive win for them.
Straight
massive.
Yes.
But again,
because how insane the UK is for this stuff right now.
But where's the next event? Where's the next US date? Where's the
fucking one will not.
The Miami or New York or LA or Dallas or any of the places?
That'll be a drop off.
And again, that's one of the things I talked about with our guy in TRYKA was like, do you want to come to America? He's like, yeah, but I don't want to come to America once and have it fail. Like, I'm going to have a real plan when I come there. Like, I'm not going to do that. So, and I said, good, because it will take you a couple of events to kick off. You won't sell out the first one, but don't
he'll start and he'll start small. Right.
But I said, don't do what a lot of these guys have done with the one event and then the TBD. And he said, no, exactly. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So if you're in England, by the way, go to this upcoming TRYKA.
Will the next event have the Rogue Air Rhino?
Oh, that's definitely on the notes. We got to talk about the Rogue Air Rhino, Dave. Let's pull it up.
Where is that in the competition? Is it toward the end?
I think it's day 2.
And what is it? It looks like a stand-up rower.
So, as near as I can figure, probably the best way to describe it is it's a torque measuring machine. Essentially, like I'm trying to make it so people can understand. But you basically are, they're using it as a deadlift. I think you could squat with it as well. But basically, you're doing your deadlift and it is an assigning a weight to the pull that you do. That is a hell of a.
No, that's the best use of AI I've seen today.
That is a winged rhino. That again, that was pretty impressive.
It looks to me, what it reminded me of was the concept to strength erg, just simplified. And I know it's not, but that's kind of what it reminded me of.
All right, so Dave, tell people what we're looking at right now. Tell people what we're looking at.
Well, two different things. We're seeing a deadlift attachment and a squat attachment, but basically it's a cable going down, like Cheryl says, looks like a vertical row. And depending on the amount of torque that you pull up with, it assigns a value to your lift.
So tell me how it's different than, for example, at the welcome to the void.
We're back to our existential crisis.
How there was one of the wonderful challenges at the fan zone of Sweden was there was a concept 2 contest. Maybe it wasn't Sweden. Where the fuck was I? They did a thing with like most calories in 5 pulls or 3 pulls, right?
That was Stockholm. Yep, you did it. Stockholm.
Okay, so but that's still a different measurement than what you're saying is with this. This is not a vertical version of that. This measures something different than just the cows. Explain to me the science, Dave, please.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a way to make it, because it is a little bit complicated, but it is similar. It measures in a similar way by speed and the torque at which you lift, by the amount of power that you pull on it, right? And then it converts that into weight, as to what your weight lifted would it be. I just wish they had a barbell and let them deadlift.
Well, that's a whole different subject that I'm going to bring up as well. But
anyway, is
it like testing your grip and like
no, it's okay. Here's okay. Is it like on the concept 2, when you pull on that thing, it moves the flywheel and it gives you a wattage for the amount of power, but this is not necessarily a flywheel. It's something similar. It's more of you're not necessarily spinning it. It's just measuring the amount of power that you're putting in to pull it. And so instead of watts, it's giving you a weight measurement.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's a great competitive machine. I think it's cool training tool maybe.
Why do we need this? So is this just what it looks like to me, which is they're just trying to sell a piece of equipment that nobody needs? And so they've just put it in here. You have this for free. Use it in the competition. So everybody's like, I need to have one.
Rogue has made a machine, and Rogue is partners in this event, and Rogue would like to show off that machine.
Yeah. Grab a barbell, lift it. End of story. I don't know why you need an extra machine.
And from my understanding, like just from comments, from what I saw, most of the athletes were like, yeah, that was cool, but I'd rather just the barbell.
Well, and they're having to shrug to get the
link. Yeah, there was a link that I sent you where a guy basically was like, "Hey, I figured out how to game the system and how to how and I don't even know what he was saying, and so that's why I think
basically you could short stroke it, right? You don't have to get that full range of motion quite like the deadlift. There's a lot of little idiosyncrasies. I've never used one, so I haven't had a chance to play with it. But from my understanding, there's little ways that you can cheat the system on it.
So do you think engineers at Rogue are like, well, we've sold a lot of bikes and a lot of rowers and a lot of skis, and it's like the shoe company, right? Well, we gotta like
make something,
or a food company now with 5% more protein, or you know what I mean? Like, is it just we need to sell another machine?
Part of the problem with Rogue is they make very good products that last a long time. So once you sell one, you might not sell them another one because it's going to last a long time. So you got to make a new product. So it's either make new products or make shit that breaks. So it's got to be replaced.
And there is absolutely no way to tell across the board between machine to machine whether or not they're actually measuring the same way.
No, it's a tough one. I think it's a misplaced tool, and I can't imagine that it makes hosting the competition easier or running it.
They're having to move those things. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't look they look robust, and they look like there's a lot of work in moving around.
Everything Rogue makes is so heavy.
They do. Like I said, they make good stuff.
All right. I do want to get to HYROX stuff because we're going to lose Dave in 20 minutes.
All right.
And I want to touch on, we talked about Hunter's video, and JK made this response, which JK has definitely like mixed it up with. This is not the first time JK has mixed it up with the athletes. Like, he's definitely gotten into a couple verbal spats with Rich or Hunter or whoever. But I got to say, this one surprised me a little, mostly the last sentence, which was respect wins races, which is, you know, a big shot at Hunter, right? It's not quite fuck you, but it's fuck you. You know what I mean? Right.
I think it's a bit of a fuck you.
Right. So he went on to say, I'll just read the fucking thing. The sport has given so many people a purpose, a career, opportunities they never thought possible. As elite athletes, we're more than competitors. We're role models. That's a responsibility I take seriously and one I'll continue to uphold throughout my career and beyond. It's okay to disagree or decisions be critical. Healthy debate helps any sport evolve. But publicly calling the sport a shit show, blaming the people who have worked tirelessly to build it because things didn't go our way is different. It disrespects not only the organizers, but also the athletes, volunteers, judges, partners, and community who have invested so much into making the sport what it is today. None of us would have the platform we have without the sport. We don't have to agree with every decision, but we should never lose sight of what the sport has given us. Respect wins races. Cheryl Snow, your thoughts when you saw this?
I respect his opinion. I didn't think that Hunter was saying that the sport was the problem. He was saying that the policies around judging were the problem. I think he has a legitimate complaint about some of the things. Like, we know, yes, a lot of his judges' calls were absolutely an issue, but there were other things that were a problem, and he's going to be vocal about it. I've never been the kind of person who decides, oh, this thing is good, so therefore it never needs criticism or it never needs to be improved. I think everything deserves scrutiny, and I think it's fine. I appreciate the fact that he recognizes what HYROX has done for him, though.
Dave?
I hate coming to Hunter's defense.
Yeah, that's how I felt too, right?
As we said before, the only problem I had with Hunter's little speech was his over-the-top criticism of the judge herself as a person. I don't agree with that in the least. I believe that JK is very much the complete antithesis of that, of let's not rock the boat. He's not so much worried about can we make this better as let's not make it worse. I'm a union guy. I come at everything from this union stance, and for me, it's not a matter of let's be grateful that they gave us this. It's they should be grateful that we're giving them us. And if anything, I could say, well, great. You could believe, hey, you should be grateful to HYROX for giving this platform. One, Hunter already had a platform. He didn't need it. But two, if you think we should be grateful that they gave us this platform, you guys built that platform. That platform doesn't exist without you guys. You might think someone else can step in, but they're not as good or whatever. And quite frankly, if I was an Elite 15 person in HYROX, I would be like, why does the winner of the CrossFit Games get $280,000 and we get 40? Because we know right now that CrossFit is struggling for finances.
I thought they got
and HYROX is killing it. Or sorry, what was that?
I thought they got 330. Maybe
no. Last year was, I think, like 280. She was under 300.
It felt very much to me like, if you criticize this country, you are no friend of mine. Right?
Yeah.
It's very what my wife calls black and white thinking.
Yeah,
and you can
nationalist versus patriotic.
You can be for the country. You can be for the troops, but against the country or whatever the fuck that is. Especially these days, right? Listen, I was in another country on our on our fucking birthday. Okay. I may have many issues with my local, regional, or national government. I was so happy someone gave me a USA wristband to wear. Okay.
Yeah.
Really happy. I woke up that morning thinking like I woke up thinking about Chris Rogloski. I was like, oh, she always wears USA shorts when she competes. I know Hunter does too, but I thought of Chris. And I thought I wish I had something. And then I ran into those people who this big gym from New York sent 50 people, many of which were Irish. And I said I wanted something. And she said, or no, she had a wristband. I said, can I have one? She gave me an American wristband. I was so happy. So JK definitely, and again, JK, anybody I ever talk about on this show, I'm happy to talk to you personally about this, but this is the platform we're on right now. I would say to your face, it kind of has that plantation mentality. He said the same thing twice at the beginning and the end. They sure did give us this platform. He said that twice, right?
Right.
And it's like Dave is saying, no, it's mutual. They created a sport. You guys have done your best by racing well, by being good ambassadors of the sport, for you speaking highly of it, for you being an example of great athleticism. It's a mutual thing, guys. And he, at the beginning, is like, but look what they did for us. And then at the end, but look what they did for us. And it's like, it was a bit much. But again, I also kind of like when everyone's not nice to each other. If everyone's always everyone's best friend, that's no fun either. So if there's a JK and Hunter rivalry, or a JK and Rich, or a, Hunter's kind of versus everybody. So that's kind of lost its luster. So I'm kind of okay with that.
I will say, as time goes on, I'm getting to appreciate Marcus Wallace's comments more and more on.
Aren't you the one who said you said he was too much of a company man?
I have my disagreements with how he sees things, but I am starting to realize that he just likes to poke the bear, and I enjoy it very much. And in JK's post, his comment was, to Dave's point, no one would have the platform they have without Hunter building this sport from the ground up. Praise be to our HYROX hero, Hunter, and his beautiful biceps. You got to appreciate that, right? Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. But yeah, I think healthy discourse is great. And I think JK's point is valid. And I think it's definitely something that should be out there, because it gives us all an opportunity to consider how we really feel. And I appreciate his gratitude. I think I think it is important to be grateful for the position you're in. I also appreciate the fact that, for instance, not just Hunter, but Charlie, his YouTube video was heartbreaking to me.
I didn't actually watch it yet.
Listen,
you break it down?
Dave, you had the best perspective, I think, on that.
So Charlie put out a video. It's about 30 minutes long. It's very well done. There was a lot of pre-race and expectations and everything, and we'll cut through a lot of that. So basically his expectations going on there, his build, all that stuff. Very much like all the other videos, but well done. So after his incident with the wall balls, he said on his video that he was given 6.5 seconds.
So remind people what happened to him with the wall balls.
So during the wall balls, a camera fell in front of his target, interfered with his wall balls, caused him a delay.
They had to move the equipment, and so he had to stop and then start back up again. And they gave him like roughly 7 seconds. They thought it was about
6.5 seconds, which was less than a second needed to put him into third, conveniently. So he said afterwards that he filed an appeal. The appeal was taken in. He was told that they will look through it. They'll go through it. And the response that he did get, so he was a little optimistic that they would do something for him. Then the response that he eventually got was that while they agree that it may have actually cost him more time than they gave him.
20 seconds is what he counted.
21 actually is what he said. 21 seconds.
So would he have been second?
Yeah. So 21 seconds is what he counted. But
he would have been second place.
Yes.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
But 21 seconds is what he counted. But they said they never acknowledged that. They said that it may have cost you more than the time you were given. You are not able to appeal this. You can only appeal other athletes'
abusive behavior,
unsportsmanlike conduct.
Matt, did you hear that? If he wanted to appeal, the only thing he can appeal
is
unsportsmanlike conduct. You cannot appeal any other ruling.
Now, before Matt goes on to that, and I want you to,
I'm just confused because I'm just confused.
Yeah, and you should be. A friend of mine went through and went screen by screen as much video as they could do to find out exactly how much time he felt Charlie was cost. And he said basically that he does think that Charlie was close on his estimate, maybe a little high, but also then that Charlie broke many times during his wall balls, so that actually he got a bit of rest there when he had it. So he was like, he didn't know what he thought HYROX should actually have done. He was on the fence at what he thought they should have done as a call. My response to that was, if I was in HYROX situation, and I'm saying, not having done all the research, not seeing all the video, but going on what Charlie said at face value is true, what my friend said at face value is true. My solution, because I do firmly believe, regardless of what either one of them said, it cost him more than 6.5 seconds. But my decision as someone in that position would have been to award him a co-third place. I cannot prove that he would have beat third place.
Right.
But I can
then he was at least third place.
Say that through our equipment failure, HYROX's equipment failure, we cost him the ability to fight for that spot. So we took that away from him, his ability to fight it. Can we say he might have got second? He might have got third. We don't know. We will never know. We can't prove it. But we can prove we cost him the ability to fight for that. As such, I would never take away the third place podium, but I would award him a co-third place.
I think this goes back to what frustrates Cheryl so much is when you don't think there's anything wrong with the system. Mm-hmm. Because I think, Dave, that's the elegant solution, the right one. I haven't done near the research you have, but it's the kind of one that if you take your time, you don't rush it, you're a professional, you're not swayed by outside forces, you go, what's the best decision here, right? It was like the one Yancey made, right? When we had the thing with, right?
Well, actually,
Camilla and Alondra.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one were you talking about?
The one where Yancey interfered.
No, that was not a good one. That was a bad example.
No. I mean, that was actually the decision I made after that incident.
But the Camilla example,
yep,
of we
equipment
fucked up.
Failure. Mm-hmm.
The best thing we can do, even though everyone hates a tie and no one the best thing to do is to reward the athlete for the performance. And I think that would have been an amazing, mature, applauded by the community.
Yes.
And that's not why they should do it. They shouldn't do it because it's applauded by the community. They should do it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. But again, I'm going to just say it. That's a mature decision. And currently they're not able to make that, or they sure haven't shown it, because it's, we only saw 6 seconds, so that's what we're going to give them.
Well, and how convenient is it that it doesn't mess up their podium? I mean, doesn't that
that's the part
reality TV?
But according to Charlie, they acknowledged that it cost him more than 6.5 seconds.
Right.
But they're not going to give him any more.
Well, and the thing that bothers me too is that if HYROX is implying that everything's fine because athletes aren't protesting these judgment decisions, it's very clear that there's literally no vehicle for them.
That's what I'm confused about, because I thought that's what we were saying, and we were happy that they could no longer rat on their friends as the solution to penalties. We were happy they took that away, but now you're saying that's the only thing left to come.
They told not that they could rat on their friends for basically unsportsmanlike conduct by someone else was the only thing they could appeal.
Right.
That was the statement.
Have you
Charlie
scoured the rule book, Dave, for this?
No, that's the state of why. That's the statement Charlie made. Scour the rule book. I'm just going to read the rule book, but they're going to do what they want anyway.
Because he wasn't in the briefing.
Yeah.
So look, I just think there is a difference. I think the thing we appreciate about DECA is the humility that is evidenced when people reconsider judgment calls and they make things right as best they can. And there seems to be an absolute dismissal. Once a decision is made, that's it. There's no reconsidering it. And this is big money. These are people's lives. And don't mess with Charlie Botterill. He's like the purest athlete we have. He's worked so hard to get there.
Yeah. Anyway, watch his video. It's a good video, and he is nothing but class on it.
Yes. No, he handles it great.
So I did see there was an email that went out, I think even today, and it talked about the rules that I thought we'd covered all of them.
What one you got?
Well, let me go to my HYROX emails. There's so many fucking emails that come out. Let me find this fucking thing. First of all, majors are now the Elite Series. We knew that. The new tier is called the Challenger Division. I thought it was Division 1. Can we call it Division 1 on this show from now on?
Sure.
Good. Another, overtaking. Where it is safe, you can pass on the sandbag lunges, burpee broad jumps, and farmer's carry. Lane markings and grid lines are guidance, not law. Faster racers may move through. When was that not a rule? I'm a little confused.
I think it was never against the rules, but I think some judges thought it was. So I think this might be a clarification more for judges than it is for the athletes. So
Okay.
actually, good clarification.
Also, on the same email, Alyssa goes wire to wire on debut. For those listening, wire to wire means from the beginning to the end. It comes from horse racing. Wire to wire, start to finish. The next sentence says, she took the lead on the sleds and never gave it back. That is not wire to wire. That is
You
on
don't
the
know
sled.
where her wire is.
Learn sports. If you're going to put out sports analogies, which they've clearly we failed on the
Grand Slam.
On the Grand Slam. Now we're failing on wire to wire. Please, whoever's in the copy department over there, call me. I'm happy to help. You don't even have to credit me. Just I know how sports works. I know this goes in the column of this shit that only bothers Matt, but it bothers Matt a lot.
Matt's
Actually,
very
this
tired.
one
Get a
right
flag with shitty reps, I'm fine with it. Makes bad sports analogies, I'm up your ass.
Go wire to wire.
I'm more with you on this one because that one is a clinical definition, and you are right. They're wrong with that. Now, that said, I'll never think of it again.
Right. What was the other HYROX note we had? Oh, do you want to quickly? I know, Dave, you got to go in 4 minutes. Do you want to talk about Newtons?
You're gonna have to brief me on this. I'm honest, I don't know about Newton.
You didn't see the video about we removed a plate from the sleds because the friction was different.
Oh, yes.
No, I didn't, but I understand what you're talking about.
So the sleds
Mhm.
were very difficult, and everyone was noticing how difficult they were. Like, wow, these
This is
sleds are
where?
hard. At the race I was just at,
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
so heavy that some of the largest men in the realm could not pull the men's pro weights. So guess what? Decision on the fly. They took off a plate for all the men's pro. No men's pro on any other, everybody did the same weights. And I asked him why, and he said, we have a machine called the Newton machine. It tests friction.
Yeah.
And we removed it. And the times ended up being what they normally were, maybe still even a little slower. But then people said, well, why didn't we take the weights off for everybody? And I can't think of a way to explain it to them, but I know there's a scientific explanation.
So okay, come back. Why you said they took the weights off for every pro man, correct?
Right. But then not the open men and not the pro women.
Okay.
And-
Well, I mean, I'm going to suggest because they measured it with their Newton meter and it was not registering more than it should.
Right. But people don't seem to understand. The only way that I can think of it in my brain is that, well, if you took all the weight off, if the women's open was no weights, you can't take off more than no weights. So that's kind of the only way I can think about it. It's like you don't need to. They're not testing for weight, they're testing for friction. And it didn't mean that the other people didn't have an easier time. I just can't think of a way to explain it.
Well, I mean, I think you actually said it I thought it's pretty simplistic, really.
Well, look at the 10 comments that say, why didn't you do it for my division?
Well, because if they, like I said, if they measured it with that amount of plates on and they got the certain amount of resistance that they want on their meter, then it's fine. You leave it where it is. And you're exactly right. Where weight is not important, it's friction. I mean, HYROX did that back at Vegas when they thought the sleds were too hard. I don't know if they had a Newton meter or whatever. I'm assuming they actually, let's just say they did. So they took a
Or
weight
the
off.
Europeans just asked for the weight to come off. One or the other.
Could be one or the other. But for the sake of I mean, they had TRYKA here actually measured it and measured with the extra plate on, it increased the friction too much beyond what it was supposed to be. And then with the plate off, it did not on the other ones. It doesn't have to be a direct correlation of, well, one plate for one division, one plate for another division. It doesn't work like that. You know,
Friction
so
doesn't work like that.
yeah, friction. Yeah, it doesn't. That's, you know, you put a plate on and increases friction, but it doesn't necessarily scale exactly the same, you know, for each division.
The friction could be exponential with that extra plate.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking difference in, you're really talking difference in percentages, not so much in actual just pounds. So if you took 45 pounds off for the one, doesn't mean you take 45 pounds off for the other one. You may not have to take any off because you've lessened the friction, and perhaps with the carpeting or whatever they're using, now it's not a problem because you've lightened that load and you've gotten to a certain part where it doesn't dig in as much.
All right, well, there you go.
Trust them.
We got it under the wire.
All of that.
It's 6:59. We got under the wire. Are you recording with Bethany?
I'm going wrestling.
Oh,
that's right.
dang.
That's right.
What's some stories?
Yeah, I'll try to. We'll see if I can get any camera. So just hopefully I don't get hurt.
Have fun.
All right, well, let's wrap it up.
Take care.
Welcome back, Matt.
Hey, I'm happy to be back. Not traveling again for a while. See you later. Bye.